Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Daily English Stories for Beginners. I am Lisa, and I am so happy to be here with you today.
And I am Mike, ready to learn and share some stories. How are you today, Lisa?
I am doing great, Mike. Today we have a very special topic. We are talking about two words that many people find confusing: amount and number.
Oh, I know those words, but honestly, I sometimes use the wrong one. Is it a large amount of people or a large number of people? It is tricky.
Exactly, Mike. That is the perfect example. Many students feel worried about this, but don't be. Today, we will make it very clear. By the end of this episode, you will know exactly when to use each word while we enjoy a cozy story about baking. Remember, English is fun, and we are here to support you.
That sounds perfect. I am hungry for some knowledge and maybe some bread.
Perfect timing, because today's story is called The Secret Recipe Challenge. We are going to learn English, one story at a time. This is English Made Simple. Let's get started.
So, Lisa, I have a confession. I tried to bake bread last weekend. My grandmother gave me her secret recipe. She told me, "Mike, follow the instructions exactly or the bread will be like a rock."
Oh no, a rock? That sounds like a difficult challenge. Did you have everything you needed?
Well, I walked into the kitchen and looked at the table. I saw a lot of things. I saw bags of flour, bottles of water, and many eggs, but I got confused immediately with the recipe.
Let's stop there for a second, Mike. This is the perfect place to talk about our first rule. You mentioned flour and water. In English, can we count flour? Can we say 1 flour, 2 flours?
No, that sounds very strange. Flour is like powder. It is a mass.
Exactly. Because flour is something we cannot count, what we call an uncountable noun, we must use the word amount. So you would say, I have a large amount of flour.
Ah, okay. A large amount of flour. What about the water? I have 3 bottles of water. Can I say a large number of water?
Good question. Here's the secret. If you talk about the liquid itself, you use amount. For example, the recipe needs a small amount of water. But if you talk about the bottles, you can count them. 1 bottle, 2 bottles, 3 bottles.
So I would say a large number of water bottles.
Spot on. You see the difference? Amount is for things we measure or see as a whole mass, like water, flour, or sugar. Number is for things we can count individually, like bottles, cups, or spoons.
Okay, I think I get it. A large amount of water, but a large number of bottles. Let me continue the story. I started measuring the flour. The recipe said I needed a significant amount of flour. I poured it into a big bowl. Then I looked at the eggs. Lisa, I had a lot of eggs on the counter.
How many eggs did you have, Mike?
I had 12 eggs. So should I say I had a large amount of eggs?
Wait, let's think. Can you count eggs? 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs?
Yes, I can count them easily.
Then you must use number. You should say, I have a large number of eggs.
Ah, a large number of eggs, because I can count them. If I can put a number in front of it, like 12 eggs, then I should use the word number when talking about the group.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Number is friends with plural words, words with an S at the end. A number of eggs, a number of cookies, a number of friends.
That is a great tip. Plural words like eggs go with number. So, in my kitchen, I had a large amount of flour and a large number of eggs.
You are learning fast, Mike. Please continue. What happened next in the secret recipe challenge?
Well, the recipe also called for walnuts. I love walnuts in my bread. I had a big bag of them. I started counting them because I wanted the bread to be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 20 walnuts.
So what did you say to yourself?
I said, I am adding a small number of walnuts to the dough. Is that right?
Perfectly right. Number of walnuts is correct because walnuts are countable. But Mike, what about the salt? Did you count the grains of salt?
No way. That would take all day. I just took a small spoon of salt.
So for salt, would you use amount or number?
I can't count salt grains, so it must be amount. I added a small amount of salt.
Correct. You are doing great. Now let's imagine a situation. What if you accidentally spilled the whole bag of salt?
Oh no, that would be a huge amount of salt on the floor.
Exactly, a huge amount of salt, not a number of salt.
Okay, so I mixed the amount of flour, the amount of water, the number of eggs, and the number of walnuts together. But then the recipe said I needed a great amount of patience.
Ah, patience. That is a good one. Patience is a feeling or a quality. Can we count patience? Can I have 3 patiences?
No, I wish, but I only have one feeling of patience.
Right. Patience is an abstract noun. We cannot count it, so we always use amount. You need a large amount of patience to wait for the bread to rise.
I definitely needed a large amount of patience. I sat by the oven for 2 hours. While I was waiting, I started thinking about my friends. I wanted to invite them over to eat the bread. I thought, I hope a large amount of people come to my house.
Oh, stop. Mike, that is a very common mistake.
Really? Why? People feels like a big group, like a mass.
I understand why you think that, but in English, we treat people as a countable word. 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. Even if there are 1,000 people, you can still count them.
So, I should say a large number of people.
Yes, always use number with people. It sounds much more natural and it is grammatically correct. A large number of students, a large number of guests, a large number of friends.
Wow, okay. A large number of friends. I will remember that. So, I called a large number of friends. I told them, come over, I have a large amount of bread.
Wait, amount of bread. Let's look at that. Bread is interesting. If you have the whole loaf, we usually say an amount of bread. But if you cut it into pieces, what do we call those?
Slices.
Yes, and can you count slices?
Yes, 1 slice, 2 slices.
So you would say a number of slices. But for the concept of bread in general, we say amount of bread.
This is very helpful. It depends on how I'm looking at the object. If it is a mass, it is amount. If I can count the pieces, it is number.
You got it. So what happened when the bread came out of the oven?
Well, I think I used a large amount of heat. The bread was a little bit black on the top.
Oh no, was it still edible?
My friends were very kind. A large number of friends arrived and they each took a slice. They said, Mike, this bread has a large amount of character.
Amount of character. That is a very nice way to say it is burnt.
Yes, we had a small amount of butter and a large amount of laughter. Even though the bread wasn't perfect, we had a great time.
That is a lovely story, Mike, and it showed us so many examples. Let's quickly review some of the things you said. You used amount for flour, water, salt, patience, bread, heat, and laughter. These are all things we cannot count as individual units.
And I used number for eggs, bottles, walnuts, friends, people, and slices. These are all things I can count. 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. And remember the people rule. Even though it feels like a big group, we always say a number of people.
That was the most important one for me. I used to say amount of people all the time. I won't do that again.
That's the spirit. Don't worry about making mistakes. Every mistake is a step toward learning. You are doing a great job.
Thanks, Lisa. I feel much better about these words now. Baking bread helped me learn grammar. Maybe next time I will try to bake a number of cookies instead.
That sounds like a great plan. Before we go, let's summarize the main points for our listeners. This will help you remember the rules easily.
Rule number 1. Use number for things you can count. These are words that usually have a plural form with an S, like a number of chairs or a number of books.
Rule number 2. Use amount for things you cannot count. These are things like liquids, powders, feelings, or mass concepts, like an amount of energy, an amount of sugar, or an amount of money.
Wait, money. Can't we count money? I have $10.
Good point, Mike. We count dollars or coins, so we say a number of dollars, but the word money itself is uncountable in English. We say a large amount of money.
Oh, English is so interesting. So number of coins, but amount of money.
Exactly. And rule number 3, always use number for people. A small number of people, a large number of people.
And my favorite tip, if you can put a specific number like 5 or 10 in front of the word and it sounds right, use number. If it sounds wrong, use amount.
That is a perfect way to remember it, Mike. We hope you enjoyed this story about Mike's secret recipe challenge. Learning English doesn't have to be stressful. It can be as cozy as baking bread in your kitchen.
Yes, thank you for listening to us today. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. Don't forget to practice. Try to look around your room and see what you have a number of and what you have an amount of.
That is a great homework idea. Share this podcast with your friends if you found it helpful. We are here to help you grow your English skills every day.
Learn English, one story at a time.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Daily English Stories for Beginners, so you never miss an episode.
See you next time.
Goodbye, and happy learning.
Bye-bye.
English made simple.